Yeah. How's it going? Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned tonight. We're going to be talking about why do we need black-owned banks. Again, going to be talking about and asking why do we need black-owned banks. Real super excited about this show, especially with a lot of the information, things that have been going on lately in the news regarding black-owned banks and everything, the whole action euphoria and everything of having black-owned banks. I think it'll be a great discussion for us to have tonight, you know. As always, I want to start the show off saying what's up to my awesome producers, DJ Lab and Slick 316.
We made it to Thursday.
Yes, sir.
We made it to Thursday.
Yes, sir. Man, I had a good week, Lab. I was about to do one shit.
You say you do one.
Shit, I was about to do one. Shit.
Well, you
anybody.
got it.
Yeah, and I got it, man. Got it.
You got it.
Super excited about this show. You know, as always, rehash the previous week. You know, number one, we are still in the middle of a pandemic. So remember, practice social distance, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands. Try not to cough too hard in your elbow. And, you know, just be courteous to everybody else out there and stuff. Just the basic stuff that you learned in pre-K and kindergarten.
Right,
You know,
right.
Be courteous and clean. Also, I want to kind of, you know, share some good news. I've been having those webinars, the tax business webinars.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to start your own tax business, it's been going great, man. Been doing at least 2 or 3 a week.
Really?
Getting people signing up, you know,
Well,
interested
okay.
in the course that got coming out. You know, so it's been super excited. Guys, you know, I don't have the link set up right now, most of the videos, maybe on the ones, may pop up on the one on YouTube and on Facebook, but we'll make sure we get it out. I don't think I do if you go to the website, all the videos, once they get updated anyway, they'll have the link to actually do it. What's going on, Sarge? Appreciate you tuning in. But the information regarding the actual course, all you gotta do is hit on the video, hit the link, put your information on. We'll be sending you that, and that's one of the biggest things I keep pushing. Join the email list. Join the email list so we can actually keep you abreast. You're not just joining the email list because you want to do the course. It's to stay updated with the different events, the products, all the different things we got coming on down the pipe, you know, with everything. So I want you guys just to make sure you hit that. But the webinar been going pretty cool, man.
Really?
It's been going pretty cool. But, you know,
a lot of participation.
not interaction, but folks doing it because I've been doing it live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the same time.
Okay.
And it's been cool, you know, and everything. You know, talking about my favorite subject, myself. And, you know, so
Right.
I damn near got to start, you know. Hey, man, we got to go there intermission. Can't say enough great things about the guy. You know, but it's going pretty cool. Super excited about that. Talk to PJ. PJ's doing well. Just want to share that with everybody.
Okay, good.
And everything.
Good.
So he's doing well. So,
Adjusting well.
yeah, he's adjusting well. Yeah, I mean, on our way you can just to a drill sergeant cussing you out, but you know, but he doing pretty good. But I want you guys to kind of be on the lookout for the course coming up and everything. So if you have, make sure you join the email list. Also tomorrow at noon, I'm working with this company called Nepris. I'll be speaking. It's noon at 1 o'clock with 300 students in New York State. Talking about personal finance.
Okay.
You know, they got Mr. Short Dollar talking to the kids and everything about that. Super excited about
Moving
that.
on. You becoming worldwide, ain't you?
Huh?
Worldwide, ain't you?
That'd be worldwide when the money get worldwide. I'd be worldwide, but the purse,
steps,
my
baby
damn
steps.
purse local.
Baby steps, baby steps.
My pocketbook local.
Right, baby steps on that thing.
Hey, man. I need the money, not the fame, baby. But, you know, I tell you what, any kind of, you know, from the subscribers and, you know, following we got, man, I'm super appreciative of everything. But I'm super excited to get, you know, talk to the kids and everything. So that's a new company that I joined up with and everything. So this is going to be my first time dealing with them. And they actually gave me 300 students to talk to. Virtually. So, you know, that's a good thing. I ain't going to be able to throw tomatoes at me. And
Right.
But I'm super excited about that. You know, just like I'm super excited, you know, talking about the subject tonight where we talk about why do we need black-owned banks. Again, guys, you're live with the Dollar Hour, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know, on Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. And, you know, tonight's show, we're asking the question, why do we need black-owned banks? Even with that, before I get ahead of myself, on the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, also on Facebook as well. Please subscribe to both. See the videos, like the videos. If you don't like them, dislike them, but just have some kind of interaction. And please spread the word about, the YouTube channel and the Facebook page, okay? In tonight's show, we're talking about why do we need black-owned banks. With when Killer Mike came out a couple of weeks ago in regards to you starting his own bank, he had all this energy and stuff. And it's been a subject a lot of people been talking about. We actually had a show about this about a year ago and everything. And it was kind of like it's a thing that people talk about a lot, but again, I don't know if it's. I got my thoughts about it, and we're gonna talk about that with it and everything because I'm gonna give my insight and opinion. I want you guys to be very interactive. If you got questions about anything, just to chime in. But I'm gonna give my insight and my opinion on the whole euphoria of it and everything, and what I think is. Do I think, in regards to the black-owned bank, do I think it's needed? I think it's great to have and everything. And I do think in some shape or form it's needed, but I think there's some other things that are more important needed. And I'm going to share that with you guys tonight, and I'm going to tell you why I feel that way and everything. But, there's been such a huge push with people doing it and everything. And I've looked at people talk about it. I remember when I had the what was that? We was at in the West End, probably about a month ago, and I remember I brought up, I was speaking to the group about business and banking,
right.
And I asked the question then because I've done a couple polls. Most of my polls have been getting, asking why do we need black-owned banks? Mm-hmm. People ask one question: do we need black-owned banks? People respond, yes, overwhelming numbers.
Right.
Then you ask, why do we need black-owned banks? Yeah, it seemed like I asked the damn algebra question. And the question that come back, most of the responses are simple, so we can get loans, so we can help each other, we can do this, that, and that, and everything. And I think people have this perception of the black-owned bank is going to be kind of like a Robin Hood for the hood.
Right.
And everything, just be able to, disseminate. Yeah, exactly. And I just don't think that people have the right perception. Are people getting sold a bag of goods in regards to what people are saying we need a black-owned bank? I don't think so, but I think people are being sold what people want to hear. Mm-hmm. I think people want to hear that we're gonna have a black-owned bank.
Right.
Exactly. People want to just hear it, and you feel like okay, it's time for us to have it. We're gonna be taking care of each other. We're gonna be looking out for each other, and we'll be able to have certain things. What's going on, Coach Chris? But I don't think people are realistic exactly what the process of banking. And, my philosophy is that I don't necessarily know, do I think it's great to have black-owned banks? Absolutely. I love the idea of it. I love the thought of it. I love the perception, the image of it and everything like that. But I think we have a greater need to just know how to bank.
Okay.
And that's the overriding thing I think is missing. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's getting sold. Okay. And in tonight's show, I'm gonna explain why I feel like it's not getting sold, and everything, and why, and if it was getting, and the reason why it's getting sold because you don't have people gonna buy
it. One of the simplest reasons, right?
Yeah, pretty much, And so just looking at the information with the old polls, that's when I was just coming to the conclusion, like people really don't understand the whole concept of just banking. Mm-hmm. And I think people kind of looking at it like, in terms of what a bank is for and everything, because the whole thing comes up is people looking like, okay, I apply for loans, I try to get certain things done, I can't get it done. And if I have, for a bank with people that look like me or understand my situations, understand my dilemmas and everything, they'll be a little bit more sensitive to helping me.
Right.
And, the question you ask when you go Bank of America, SunTrust now, you got that sister, brother working in the bank now. Are they any more damn sensitive? Hell no. Are they even sensitive?
Do they even care? Right.
Yeah. So why the hell you think if you go to a black-owned bank, you go to all these banks with black people working in there, they don't show any level of sensitivity. Why would you walk into a bank full of them?
Right.
They're any more sensitive. And you sit there and think about it.
Black manager, branch manager.
Oh man, they got them in there and everything. That don't mean they're. I'm not speaking in terms of just the quality of their service. I'm just saying that you have people in those positions right now in some of the white banks and everything like that. I mean, do you feel any more comfortable when you're dealing with a brother or sister or anything. If you're dealing with a white person, sometimes going into a white bank, that might be a variance of answers, but I've never felt. I just have people that, you know, sometimes somebody might be a little quicker to joke with you or whatever, but for the most part, everybody don't kill the same way. You know, you just don't get no kind of warm, fuzzy feeling either way. So now you sit there and look about, you know, hey, we have our own banks where we can just have this community banking. We can be able to invest in our community and do all this kind of stuff. And it sounds great, you know, we're trying to do it, but that's where we're going to get into this kind of conversation. Why? First, you think about it for a minute before you go into it. It's not a new concept. It's not a new idea. Everybody go back in history and say, well, we had Rosewood, we had Tulsa, but they went with Greenwood, Sweet Auburn. We had all this, you know, you think about, you know, just Citizen Trust, what it was that Atlanta, you know, originally,
Well, I don't remember that bank.
Because
Atlanta Light, a bank called that?
Yeah, Atlanta Savings. What was
Atlanta Savings and Loan?
Atlanta Savings and Loan. That one, Alonzo Herndon started and everything. And you just think about just those, you know, you think about like, what's that in North Carolina? Durham, Raleigh, Durham, all those places that Chicago, those places that were like meccas for black folks. Where you had black banks and stuff like that, Harlem and everything. And you say to yourself, hell, what the hell happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? What the hell happened? So if we were sitting there just rolling and doing all this well stuff, we had this stuff, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? And then we got to sit here and just think, okay, because you want to have this certain perception of, you know, what we have in terms of these banks and bringing them in and start them and everything, and you don't want to rewrite history to lose it, but you got to think about it. Are we asking for something that we really aren't going to be able to keep?
No, we're gonna
because they left for a reason.
Right.
And we can say, well, you know, they took it away, they burned it up. In some cases like that, absolutely. But in a lot of cases, I think it came down to really one thing, just, you know, pretty much customer support. I remember that Bank of America right there on Bankhead by Hollywood Road, and it was there for years. And I remember going into the bank, you know, just being, you know, Coach D, trying to get like some sponsorship talk to the banks. And I remember the branch manager talking to me. We just sat there and just chopped it up and everything. Told them I was an accountant and everything. And like they were like, you know, we probably ain't gonna be able to last too much longer. This over 10 years ago. And I just remember the conversation being that how they've been trying to make relationships with people in the community. They didn't have enough people with accounts in the community.
Wow.
To stay open.
Wow.
And you sit there and look at it. That Bank of America that was right there on Bankhead. I mean, what was next closest bank? What, West End, Capital City, or something like that? I mean, there was no bank.
Right.
Hell, I'm talking about in the city.
The bank was right across from where the beauty supply at.
I remember that. I remember seeing that bank right there.
You know, just to be thinking in terms of like, you know, at least what, five or six, probably more than that, maybe 10 miles. You know, another bank, and they couldn't even stay open because they couldn't get enough people to join the bank. And so my point with all that is, when we start talking about what we want to have black-owned banks and stuff like that, even though you say, okay, well, that was a white-owned, you know, from a corporation bank and everything like that, we're still talking the same thing, banks, because at the end of the day, those kind of relationships, those are things you need to go get loans from, having the community. We can say, well, hey, they probably weren't giving people, you know, the loans or anything like that, and that's why they didn't stay open and everything. It goes back to the premise of what we're talking about the show, is that they didn't give people loans or people weren't in the capacity to bank. And I think that's the thing about it, because me working in the financial services industry over 20 years, I know personally, and if anybody did their homework, majority of these major banks, they have programs set up for small businesses, entrepreneurs, free classes that you can attend that can help you get funding. You go through their classes that are free of charge, that come out to the community and do it.
Right.
They do it. They have tons of programs that you can go to or whatever. And at a particular time, you might need funding. You might couldn't do this, and you might couldn't get that and stuff. I get it. I get it. Your credit bad. You don't have any collateral. I get it. And it just didn't work. But, you know, we start thinking back to what happened to the one we had. Minus the ones we had tragedy and people, you know, took away. What happened to the, you know, like I said, you only got one citizen. How many citizen trusts we got in Atlanta? Maybe two. Man, no, it's more than that, because there was one downtown, one in Decatur. Credit Union of Atlanta, and I got First Choice. Is one Atlanta still open? I think maybe it was like 3 or 4 black-owned banks in Atlanta right now. I don't forgot the exact number and everything because I was looking up when I was just doing my research. I was getting so many different numbers, but I don't think it's more than 5 black-owned banks, and I don't think it's more than 20 nationally. With doing it. Give me a fact check. I ain't scared. I ain't like Trump, but it's the reason why our numbers dwindle like that because that's too much energy for people to have a bank for us not to have it. And the issue is not the issue we can't have it, is that we can't keep it. So now we got to kind of go into it. What's the issue? And we got to go, now start looking at what's the reality of the reason why we don't have these black-owned banks. Because what's being sold to everybody is a bill of goods. Hey, we need to open this black-owned bank. But why in the world don't we have more? Okay? And that's what we're going to, talk about next. Again, this is the Dollar Hour. We're talking about why do we need black-owned banks. This is Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel. Mr. Short Dollar, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page. Check out all the over 100 videos we got on both pages where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. Now, here's the deal. When we talk about why do we need black-owned banks, we're going to go to the reality of the situation.
Well, they say there's 42 black-owned financial institutions in the United States.
42?
Taken together, they have approximately $5.8 billion in assets in total. But that's with 42 black-owned banks. I think
they ain't in a fraction what Bank of America got by itself.
Bank of America got what? $2 trillion?
Yeah.
Dollars in assets, and between 42 banks, you only got $5 billion.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But see, now we're gonna go into like the reality because here's the deal. The thing of it is, when we say why don't we have these black-owned banks, let's go. Let's have that keep it real moment. The first thing is that people don't understand when you join the bank. Just say you open up, get a deposit, you become a member. Deposit is one thing. Getting a whole damn loan is a whole nother conversation. Mm-hmm. People just can't qualify for a loan. And if you think just because you walk in this black-owned bank and you're going to get a loan because your sister owned, or brother owned, and everything, you out of your damn mind. You out of your damn mind. Y'all, I don't care who bank you join. If you're not in a capacity or a situation to qualify for a loan, you're not gonna get it. I don't care what color. Right. It doesn't matter. Cause here's the deal. And what you just said was very important. When we started looking at actually the cap of $5 billion out of 40-some banks. When we start looking at banking concepts, just in a nutshell, so you guys understand that don't know, the banks when they initially open up. Right now, what they're doing, just like what Killer Mike is saying, with the online accounts, they're trying to get deposits, get people in, open an account up, put your money in, put your money in, put your money in, put your money in, right? Mm-hmm. What happens there from that point, once they get so much capital as far as the money and the deposit they have in, that determines how much money they can lend out to people, okay? At the end of the day, if they don't have so much as far as with cash reserves stored in that bank, they're limited amount of that they can loan. The issue comes up with that is the more money I have when you look at like a major bank or like your Chase, your Bank of America, those major investment banks and stuff like that, they can actually be a lot more flexible with the money they got because they got so much capital inside their banks. Mm-hmm. But you talk about a smaller bank that has less capital that's trying to get started, they have to be more restricted, more protected. Because, again, they can't take the chances that a big home bank can. There's nowhere near the scale that they are. And I don't think people understand that. It's like you're asking somebody for a loan that's really barely got enough to loan out to you. And that's the thing about it. It's a good idea. I make it a point to deal with black-owned banks, but I know what I'm going to deal with them with. Get a saving account. Because, again, they're not going to be able to give you a loan. If you just be honest with you, because I'm not going to make a show. I'm not going to talk about the quality of customer service. I'm not going to get into that. You know what I mean? Because I can go in any color bank and get bad customer service, and everything. But that's not what I want to do. I just want to talk in regards to realistically why we don't have them. Mm-hmm. And if we want to have them, what we got to do. and just to get those concepts, because I don't think people are thinking why we really don't have them, and they're saying, yeah, we need to get them because so we can qualify for loans and get them. And I'm just here to say that's not.
Right.
I don't think that's going to be the case. And one of the other things is just
when we done with this, we'll give the top 5 black-owned banks and the assets that they have as far as capital. Once we done, towards the end of the show, we could do that.
Okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine with it. Another harsh reality that I don't think a lot of folks are addressing rather is we talking about just black-owned banks. The black community as a whole, not all, but a good majority of it. If you want to believe it or admit to it or not, we just got a lot of people with poor financial literacy. Mm-hmm. People make money. We have no shortage of people that are actually making income, decent wages. But as far as accumulating wealth, knowing how to acquire wealth, make wealth grow, distributing wealth and everything, we don't have a lot of that. We don't even regardless even the number, we just don't have people that actually know how to do it. That's probably more important. Mm-hmm. And just understand the whole concept of money. Going back to what I was saying, most importantly, knowing how to bank. That's the thing of it is one thing, you're going into, and I tell this is one of the biggest things I get on my business consulting clients is that you don't want to be an application in the stack. You want to be able to go to the bank and have that relationship where, hey, I need this funding for this. Can you increase my line of credit? Can you do this? Can you do that? And a lot of that just set on relationships more than, your credit score. And as a community as a whole, we just really don't do, and we don't know how to do any kind of banking. It really comes down to, I'm ready to go get a car. Let me try to apply for a loan. I want to start a business up. Let me apply for a loan. I say this a lot on the show and tell all my clients all the time. We get access to capital when we don't need it.
Right.
When you need to get that new car, when you need to get that house, when you need to make those repairs on your house, on the home, whatever, that's not the time to go get the loan or get access to the money. You need to be doing it when you don't need it.
Right.
So when you have them stressors or incidents coming up, you're already straight.
Mm-hmm. You have it saved up and ready to go.
Absolutely. It's nothing wrong with having credit. It's just something wrong with not paying people back. It's just
exactly.
you have to make sure that because stuff happens. Mm-hmm. And if one thing COVID showed us is that you can't sit here and be comfortable.
Exactly.
How many people in January were on cloud nine that were just pre-planning stuff and knowing like, hey, look, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this in March and everything like that. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic and that whole damn world done changed.
Everything changed.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. So we might be hit a whole nother whirlwind, but you just think about how many industries as a whole,
right?
Restaurants, hotels, clubs, bars. I mean, everything just got totally shut the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
How about Mayor Mack was closed down during the whole COVID, and now it's opened up under new name. Somebody else don't know.
That sound about right. And
Had that restaurant for I know since long I've been in the world, seems like it's been there.
well, and again, this not even people just mismanaging money or whatever. It's just something happened, closed for 2 or 3 months. I'm still arguing back and forth with that damn salon or the landlord up there, thinking I should pay rent for the month of damn March and April when I couldn't use it.
Right.
Hell no. hell no. That's what I'm saying. Why would I pay you and I couldn't use it?
And I wasn't closed because I had to be closed. I was closed because I was told to be closed.
Yeah. Tell College Park to pay you.
Right.
Tell
You better go up there and get some
money. He got some.
Yeah.
He got some
Just
tight
being
ass.
greedy.
No, exactly. So those are kind of things when you sit there and look at it, like people just had whole shifts.
Right.
And then you seen people how they act. Some, like you said, sold the business, closed it up.
Right.
Some, you got the clubs now they're takeout restaurants.
Right.
And then it really showed how bad their kitchens was.
Except for all the strip clubs. Apparently all their kitchens is good. It's amazing how all the strip clubs kitchens got the best food.
Oh,
but
man.
anyway, we're going to keep moving on.
You funny, man. And even just knowing when we talk about we're dealing with banking and just poor financial literacy, understanding to be financial literate and be proficient with your finances, it takes a lot of commitment on a personal level, time-wise, less money, but more time wise and to be able to do that. Most folks just don't want to commit that. You know what I mean? And that was one of the harsh realities folks have to look at, and not enough industry experience and receiving how to receive certain loans is one of the major things. And just a quick tidbit: when you're looking at getting a loan from a personal perspective, guys, they look at two main things, and that's your income and your credit. Sometimes they want to kind of throw in collateral, but for the most part, they want to look at your income and your credit. When you start talking about getting a business loan, they're looking at your income, they're looking at your credit, they're looking at the risk, they're looking at your experience, they're looking at the industry, and they're looking at your collateral. And usually, if two of those are off, you're not going to get a loan.
Right.
And I'm speaking from personal experience where, I'm an individual. I'm not just throwing out stuff and assuming. I've acquired SBA loans and government loans, all this and I issue out, I'm an alternative financer and everything for, but just those strict loans, government-backed loans and stuff, this pre-COVID. So I actually know, it's very, very hard to have that, hard to get it, but it is if you don't have your stuff together. Now, again, people kind of situation, I understand it. I wouldn't be trying to get this money from me if my stuff was together.
Right.
But the flip side of it is try to harness those relationships prior to. And so we start talking about the whole issue of the black-owned banks. Are we really fighting for something that we might not necessarily be able to keep?
Right.
Because if you're going to borrow money from this black-owned bank and you ain't going to pay it back,
what's the point?
And I think that's probably been the case most of the time.
And people don't realize that deposits determine how much money they can loan out as well too. If you don't have enough deposits, you can't loan out money, because technically banks loan out our money that we deposit.
That's what I'm saying.
And so if everybody in the neighborhood is not shopping at that bank but want to go to that bank, not depositing their checks or direct depositing their checks into that bank, but still want to go to that bank for loan because it's black owned, it's in the neighborhood, but they get their direct deposit at Wells Fargo. You get what I'm saying? How long will that bank sustain itself anyway?
Well, that's what happened to the Bank of America bankhead. That's what happened to most of the banks, period. People don't use them, and because you don't take care of it, and again, you're not going to have that there. Now, the flip side, people look at it from that individual standpoint, where they won't give me a loan, they won't do this, that, and that. But again, let's look at it in most simplistic term. We start talking about credit. I don't know you.
Right.
You don't know me. I'm going to come to you and ask you for some money. I only have one thing to kind of check your credibility on, that being your credit score.
Right.
I might look at, your income and everything like that. We may look at a little collateral. Would you be quick to give me the money if you had it?
Right.
If my damn credibility looked funny?
Right.
I mean, come on now.
Right.
I mean, come on now. That's...
You gotta think about that.
Yeah. Nobody want to think about that. They just feel like no. And the reason why, because once the idea comes up, okay, this is how you want to acquire these loans, and this is what you got to do and everything to acquire these loans, you got to make a sacrifice of time, rebuilding your credit, doing this, that, and that. In 6 months to a year, you'll be okay to do it. People don't want to necessarily make that kind of commitment. Now, again, you stick to what I said before. You try to get access to capital prior to. Those kind of things, you really, when you have those little moments in life when you get sick, you lose your job, car break down, roof start leaking and everything like that, you can kind of mitigate them losses because you got, a credit card with a $5,000 limit to it, $10,000 line of credit on your house and everything. You ain't using it, you just use it when you got emergencies.
Right.
Again, those are things you got to try to get when you don't, get access to capital when you don't need it. And those why I always try to push people to do. Don't wait till you need to borrow the damn money. There's nothing wrong with having 5 or 6 damn cards. All of them got available balance of $2,000-$3,000. If you got 5 cards, got a $3,000 available balance, you got $15,000. God forbid you have something happen at one damn time more than 15 grand.
Right.
But people don't understand. I got it, now I got to go. Nah, just don't damn use it.
Right.
Just don't. You be disciplined. Don't use it. And I think that's one.
I'm gonna say on that part though. If you don't use it at least a little bit, they will cut your card off and give you a strike on your credit. That's the new move now.
Well, that's a good point. But I mean, if you use it like that, all right, go get some gas here, Blue Moon.
Right.
But just don't be disciplined with it. Again, you get access to it when you don't need it. And the whole issue of again of what was being pushed in regards to the black-owned bank, people just don't understand how to bank. Because like I said again, I think people right now getting sold a damn bag of goods. Join this bank, and then when people don't get loans. Because again, we went to the same stuff. What was the bank that were pushing a couple years ago? Was it Bank One, Bank United? The brother opened a bank up in Atlanta. First choice? I can't remember. It was Bank One or Bank United. It had a one in there. They were black and gold. Killer Mike was
One United.
I don't know, but I know Killer Mike was pushing that because they had a golden. It was they were gold and black.
It's not One United.
But
that was in 1982.
One United is no, I don't think that's it. But it's Bank One or something like that. But they were based here in Atlanta, and everything. And that was the same thing getting pushed in. But again, people go in, put their money in, and people want to, overdraw on their damn accounts. Getting credit cards they ain't paying for and everything. Next thing you know, the bank, their assets and capital, done drop down. They can't do anything but close. And banks are, regulated by the federal government. If they can't keep their numbers at a certain point, they got to close down.
That's true.
And I just go back to again. I think the push should be what I keep saying to people is we need to make a very, very hard push on learning how to bank. And I just think if that doesn't happen, we're gonna have a whole lot of issue. Again, we're asking tonight, why do we need black-owned banks? This is the Dollar Hour hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself.
Let me tell you something I heard.
Okay.
They say that being that there's been a lot of stuff pushed for marijuana to be legal in our state, that money can't be in the bank, FDIC, so they're going to have to have somewhere to put it.
So they think that this is going to be a part of that. Like this is going to be they establishing themselves now to be a deposit place for dispensaries.
No, you can't. They can't. That's not. I mean, that's just federal.
Killer Mike's Bank FDIC? I don't think it is it?
I don't know. If it ain't FDIC, I don't know the hell you're going. Now, this ain't me talking bad about it. Okay.
It's not.
Well.
I don't know what might happen in a minute, but right now, no.
Shit, if it ain't FDIC.
Time card or the cash out card.
We talking like a rush card or something like that. Oh hell! Let me stop. Let me say this, and I'm gonna give my professional opinion. Do not deal with a bank that's not FDIC insured.
Right.
And I don't care what color they are. And the reason why I say this is because at the end of the day, it's all about protecting yourself. Because at the end of the day, if I start something and I ask you to join me, and I can put in all my money, but that's my dream. That's my business, what I want. And you lose what you have because you want to, be a part of something great, and you ain't got nothing to show for it, and I move on with my life. No, that's not right. So make sure you do your homework and research. That's just a little small disclaimer. Because I don't know who stuff is or isn't. But, go to your point about the dispensaries. None of them can, be put in the banks. Your banks are regulated and everything like that. I still, even if they were putting in there, I still don't necessarily know would they have enough capital to be extending out a certain amount of loans. We're doing that. That industry makes a lot of money, but I don't necessarily know if that, that would be able to, benefit you actually from a funding standpoint to do it. I think more people jumping on the bandwagon because it seems cool, but they still don't know what the hell they're doing. With doing the same thing when people got rush cards and stuff like that. People had access to actually swipe something as opposed to always had to just, pull out cash and stuff like that. You make you feel a little bit better,
Right.
You go on your date, you ain't, going through, fumbling through your money.
Right.
Dropping all them quarters out your pocket. You just, here, man. Just swipe it and everything and stuff, So
get a black one. Feel like you got a black one.
There you go. There you go.
Like you got a black card.
There you go.
Colored black.
Exactly. So I don't know, Reek, as far as how they're gonna do that, how they're structured and everything like that. I don't necessarily, how that'll benefit the end consumer. But that's why I always want to push whatever bank you look at joining. Make sure you do your homework. And if you can't find information, always reach out to me. All my contact information is on all the videos and everything like that. So, feel free, because I got people call me all the time to see the videos and have questions and stuff like that.
Right,
but I want, you guys understand, what I want to go into now is just looking at the black-owned banks. Because, again, do they target the black community? I feel like they do that. I think a certain image is getting, bestowed on the black community in terms of joining the black-owned banks. You're dealing with us. They understand our issues and problems. And I don't think that's the case. I try to get loans from Capital City, Citizen Trust, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And again, I don't have no credit issues.
Right.
I don't have nothing
Right.
like that and everything. No, I mean, everybody gonna better get, you can go to 4 or 5, and I can go to Bank of America. They don't get it to me. Chase do. I can apply at Chase. Chase don't get it to me. Bank of America do it. Just
Do they still have check system?
who check system?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still have that. It's all they still fall up on the check 21 in regards to just we're doing that and everything. Everything's automated and virtual now, but everything, all that stuff is still in the system. But I'm talking about as far as just getting a loan. It just depends on who's going to approve you. Who puts more weight on the what? Some people won't look at credit, some won't look at collateral, it just depends on who you go to and everything. Right. And a lot of them actually look at industry. Some just have a niche. They mostly fund restaurants. Some mostly fund clubs. Ain't that many of them, but I mean, those are the kind of things that are out there. And even just like what Reed mentioned with me, I deal in alternative financing. Some people need split funding loans or factoring loans and stuff. I got access to all that kind of stuff. That most of your banks don't want to deal with. It might come at a higher cost, but if you need the money, you need the money.
Right.
But those are kind of things where I want to kind of allude to right now in regards to just being aware of the world is flat. Now, again, I don't want to get off the black-owned bank concept, but I really want to just share this information in regards to just understanding basic banking. The world is flat. I say again, the world is flat. One good thing that was brought up in with the bank. What's the name of the bank, Killer Mike? Open up. What's the name of it? Greenwood. Okay, like I say, it's an online banking and everything. The whole no brick and mortar, and that's that's not a new concept. The great part about banks that are like that, virtual banks, is that they don't have the fees that a lot of other brick and mortars have because they don't have the overhead,
right.
to do it. But the problem that comes up with a lot of those is just people understand they can't process what a Bank of America and Chase have. As far as you're not gonna have the staff, you're not gonna have the responsiveness, you're not gonna have all the damn products and stuff like that they're gonna have and stuff because again, they ain't charging shit.
Right.
They ain't charging that. They ain't doing it getting your damn deposits.
Right.
So for them to be free, just keep it real. You're gonna get free service.
Right.
And what I want people to understand is that if you kind of get your mind out of it in those non-traditional brick and mortar style sets, you have a lot that you can be doing and everything. And people have to understand there are tons of ways that you can get funded. Now, when there are a ton of ways to get funded, you may not necessarily get it funded the way you want to be. It may be at a little higher cost,
right? But
you still can get money. Access to capital is still there. Again, like some of the products that we offer at WDA Investments, they may come at a little higher cost. Not your credit is bad or anything like that, but it's just the hell, the situation.
Right.
If you got a contract that you need to get everybody paid and you ain't got $40,000-$50,000, you need to get that covered to make payroll. We got you. But you got to pay for it,
right?
And everything.
Right.
We ain't getting over just help you make it happen, and you just got to decide how bad you want it.
You got to weigh the options.
Exactly, but I want to kind of share with everybody, just in regards to, thinking outside the box. We started talking about funding. Again, we're talking about why do we need black-owned banks. Understand the whole concept just with basic banking and understanding that you don't have to limit yourself to a certain image of what a bank is. And, I wanted to kind of just bring up, people look at it a lot of times. You got companies like LendingTree, Prosper, you got crowdfunding, you have, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, private investors, Cabbage, things like that, where these places are set up for, non-traditional mechanisms. Now, like I said, again, if you come to the table, everything is good because you get turned down, absolutely.
Right.
But it's not gonna happen that often. It's not gonna happen that often. If you're able to get it, again, I just went through the things you're looking at as far as you getting a business loan. Where you're looking at, your credit. You're looking at your credit, industry, collateral, experience, and all that kind of stuff. You gotta be realistic about that. In today's climate, how quick would you get a loan for a restaurant that you can only operate at a certain capacity?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
How quick would you want to get somebody, and everything? Now, you turn around and say, listen, I want to open up a pharmacy or something like that, thinking outside the box. We want to sit here and just probably have like a med vac place or something like that, where you're actually doing those, what, PE, and is it PE or PEP? Those are emergency selling masks, selling gowns and stuff like PPE. There you go. Help me out. Yeah, that APS coming out of me. You got some
personal protection equipment.
Yeah, personal protection equipment. Lab Education Chicago. I'm a Harper High graduate.
I was educated out of Illinois.
Yeah, there you go.
That's getting outside the box.
There you go. But like I say, you had those kind of options available. Those kinds of, hey, you can get some funding.
Right.
Because I know he's actually offering a product that actually people need and everything like that. There's not anything fly by night. And so those kind of non-traditional ways of funding are out there. Like I said, again, when you're looking at, like I said, those Prosper, Cabbage, things like that, dealing with people that deal in alternative financing, the world flat.
Right.
And it's just a matter of, I don't care if you're black, blue, green, or yellow. You just put it in, you'll better, get access to money. It may be at a higher cost, but at the end of the day, excuse me, if you can get there, you won't be there.
Right. You got to think of those like lending trees and, how they do mortgages online. You really don't have nowhere to go with lending tree, but lending tree, what's the other one that does mortgage online? Those Rocket Mortgage. All those things are online and they are successful. So it's not like being online is a bad thing. It's just that how you go about it. You get what I'm saying? And Rocket Mortgage and all those guys, they do have a high cost for those mortgages. It's not like
15% a day.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times people don't actually use certain products to get a hold of certain products, really, because they just don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's why I said thinking outside the box, not necessarily looking at traditional paths to get money. Those are kind of things. Because again, let's be realistic. When you hear the whole concept of, and I ain't talking about nobody, I'm just being honest. Hey, go to this black-owned bank. You just banking on people just going to a bank because it's black.
Mm-hmm.
A person is going to kind of give some kind of scrutiny to it. Hey, what all they offer to it? What all, and everything. When I'm as being a business owner, I got to find out, do they have certain processes they offer, me being a business owner, because I'm getting money all kind of different ways. Getting the cash, swipe. People want to actually, pay me through Zelle. People want to, just, send a check this way. Deonte, can we forward it this way? Can you bill me this? I got to make sure I'm able to do all that kind of stuff. And does this bank have the processing capacity to help me do that?
Right.
And again, I know some of the banks here, I just had a conversation with one of them last week. They can't do too much, basically my old damn teller machine days. So,
oh, Jesus. So they can't even you can't go to the ATM with cash and no envelope and stick it in there and they count it out for you yet, huh?
It ain't trying to advance. I ain't damn trying to advance. Ain't trying to damn advance at all. Ain't trying to damn advance at all. So I'm not going to talk about no banks or anything like. How can you not? Well, the whole thing about it is that I don't think people, they don't want to. It's just that a lot of times leadership, a lot of times,
You think it's the cost?
hell no, I don't think it's the call. I think that sometimes people just ain't adapt to change and responsive. And some people forward thinking. Some people like, hey, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we do it that way? Again, somebody had to think about taking pictures of checks and getting it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody had to start thinking about, hey,
like, these people ain't gonna want to come to this bank all the time.
Exactly. Some people had to think about, hey, can we, exchange money through your damn phone? It had to be thought of, and it had to be met with some kind of, objectivity and
scrutiny.
Exactly. But you're rewarded when you think outside the box and we be innovative. That's one of the biggest things they push in grad school, man. Innovation. But again, like I said, we ain't too much with that. Like we. No, hell no. Not us.
I gotta see my shit. I'm sorry.
You right. You damn right. And you can't get past it. Like, listen, we're limiting ourselves so much. I mean, I can just say personally, with just some of the organizations I've dealt with, where a lot of leadership are older, good people, very smart, but just something as simple as using Eventbrite instead of going spending $2,000 or $3,000 printing out some pretty tickets, and we take that whole damn price out and put it on the consumer.
Right.
Oh no, you mean to tell me we can, they can pay for it and we ain't got to pay for the ticket? Or I kind of like how the ticket look. Man, excuse me, that ticket. You know, I mean, just things like that.
They gonna tap through in the guys.
Exactly.
Once they get in there.
Well, you know, well, that's the thing about it. You know, you can get emailed a nice design. I say this.
Print it out.
Exactly. Especially when you start looking at bottom line and experience. I mean, even just processing. A lot of times people don't understand just transaction fees when you're using the credit card machine.
Right.
They're tripping that they got to spend, 2 to 7% to get their money quicker. Now, understanding that people funny now. People will go somewhere else if they can't use their damn card. Yeah. A lot of people don't carry cash.
Yeah.
So you looking at it, you're going to tell somebody because they don't have cash, you're not going to do business with them? Not in 2020.
Yeah.
Not in 2020. And that's just how that is. You have to be able to adapt to changes. And sometimes when they come, you just, again, you just won't be able to you do certain things, That these phones can do so much. Exactly. A new.
That's just how for real I don't carry cash. I didn't even know they had a new 100 bill when it came out. But now your friend on the other hand, like, oh, did my check switch to $100?
Give me all of my cash.
What you gonna do with it? Put it in my wallet.
Yep. The whole check.
He's not innovative.
I only lost it once, and it wasn't the whole 26.
There you go. I ain't gonna let her beat you up too bad. Again, you.
What you think about these things that I don't know about them really, because I haven't tried it.
Okay.
So my friend came over the other day, and she was like, "Have you ever heard of Dave?" No. Have you ever heard of something else? She's like, "You could borrow $50 to $100 from some kind of app to put on your phone, and you can borrow the money from them, and I think you got to link the checking account that they take the money out soon as you get paid, but you could get up to $300 or something like that."
I mean, it's the same just a payday lending. It's just you're not going to a brick and mortar place. It's just payday lending.
I don't think I do that.
Well, at the end of the day, you're not going to do it when you don't need it. You're going to do it when you need it when you need it.
The most.
So it's just a payday lending without the brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. And they can be a lot more flexible. Why? Because they don't have to pay rent. They ain't got to pay payroll. They ain't got to pay health insurance. So they can be a whole lot more flexible. Mm-hmm. And you done what? You actually gave them digital access to your checking account and everything.
They take their money before they take when anybody else get theirs.
Exactly. Well, again, you're going to use them when what? You need to use them. Mm-hmm. So again, tonight we're talking about why do we need black-owned banks, and we're having a great discussion in regards to everything, how, banking has changed the whole dynamic when we have the conversation, why do we need black-owned banks? And like I said, again, do we need it and everything? Absolutely. And I can tell you, I feel like we need it because we do need to have certain things where we can feel like, okay, we have, people in our community can help us know our interests and stuff like that. But realistically, you got to understand, we still need to know how to bank. Mm-hmm. And we have to know how to bank in regards to what it takes to get a loan, how banks operate, how we can grow wealth. That stuff has to be known prior to before we start throwing out all these ideas about, I want to, support this particular bank.
Right.
And now understanding that, I hear the whole terms of we got to start somewhere, you got to believe in everything. I get that part. Mm-hmm. But it's not about starting somewhere, it's not about believing, it's all about what? Sustaining.
Right.
You if you can't sustain, you can't keep me, it doesn't matter. Because it's not an original idea.
Right.
The government didn't take all of them. If people not supporting it and doing business and doing right by them, mm-hmm. That's why a majority of them left. Let's be honest.
Right.
Let's be honest. That's why. Because mm-hmm. people don't know how to balance their check. People don't know how to forecast their money. People don't know how to function, operate with a bank and stuff like that. I get it. Stuff happens. I understand. But those are the reasons why we ain't been able to keep those particular items and stuff. So that's what I wanted to kind of, kind of just, hash on with that and stuff, because when I look at, what should we be doing first in regards to just starting out, hey, you want to get on the right track, we want to start promoting information, because I talked about why. What could we be doing? Number one, we need to learn basic financial literacy. We learn the basic financial literacy. We're talking about banking, credit, budgeting, and retirement. Mm-hmm. Understanding that. How that functions, how that applies to you, what you can and what you can't do, and how to mesh that all in together. And I just think the reason why that's not getting pushed is because it's time consuming, it's boring, it requires commitment, and most importantly, it requires accountability. And it's a whole lot easier for me to say, I didn't know that, than me to sit down in the library or do some Google research and spend some time trying to figure out how to do it. That's everybody know one thing. I didn't know how to do this. We need to learn how to do this. People will say that the banks won't. No, I mean, find out what's going on. It took me a year and a half, damn 2 years to get that damn SBA loan. But I want to leave them for a job. You know, and it was just that. For the amount of money I was getting, I was like, shit, okay, cool. I knew what they were going to give me. I knew what they wanted to see. I knew what kind of time it was going to take me to get myself in that position. You know, my want to get that money was bigger than my, dislike of waiting that damn long. I ain't give a damn.
Yeah, right.
You know? And that's the one. Well, it's patient, but it's also kind of like, you just kind of hate your damn certain situation. Shit. If you sitting there in the same thing, trying to do what you normally do, that ain't how life going to work. It ain't going to work like that. And so that's one of the biggest things I just want to push with people. You got to understand that you can't do what you want to do and expect different results. You got to do some things differently. And when we sit here and push that we want, black-owned banks and everything, we want to open them up, we got to be willing to have that commitment to make sure they stay around and make sure that we're doing the right things to be pushing it. Do I think it's going to be an issue with the bank that Killer Mike and pushing? No, I hope not. But, I mean, as long as you're dealing with your cousins, shit, you don't never know. Because I think people actually do think that, that they're going to get loans, get access to capital because they black.
Right.
You heard that brother sit down there with a straight face, and that brother owned that business. That said that, Lab. He owns that. He's the one that owned that restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And when I said, why do you think that, it's a good idea? He said, because, they're sensitive to my situation, they be giving me a loan. That's a damn business owner.
Right.
Saying that. He has no damn clue. Good brother.
Right.
No clue. No hell.
No clue how it works.
Exactly. And you sit here. Exactly.
You go.
And you got all these people going to sit here and commit to join the bank, put their money in, and now they want to borrow some money. They want to get some money.
Right.
Overdrawing their damn accounts. And now you're sitting there like, damn, Whereas it needs to be an over push. I'm going to be honest with you. It needs to be an over push in financial literacy. And to be honest with you, the sad part about it is you got, Mr. Short Dollar. You got all these other financial channels, way bigger than mine. People don't really want to sit there and commit because when you start talking about the time it takes, the discipline, the commitment, people just don't want to do it. And then you just had some shit called PPP. And an idle loan, and these jokers just became instant thousandaires. Shit.
Living life, right?
Living my best life. Shit.
I know some people that they put their money in their account and were like, whoa, and they took it right back out. But they done already withdrawn. And the bank like, well, you over.
Well, a lot of people did that. A lot of even people that needed it legitimately. Some just still, again, they issues. You have a lot of businesses that are actually out here doing legit business, but they understand their craft. They're busy, but they're not a growing, thriving business. You know what I mean? But no, you got some. I mean, I'm telling you, they making millions of dollars, but they damn near spending $999,000 in expenses. Truly, I mean, I'm an accountant. I see this stuff.
Right.
I see it. Like, you have people that actually out here making money, black businesses that are making money, but it is not nothing intentional or even, from a mismanagement standpoint. They just don't understand operations. They don't understand financials. They don't understand report. They don't get that whole part. Now, they know what they need to do. I got, I ain't saying I'm a clients, but just, you deal with people that, but like, oh, Lord, let me stop that. But I've seen things where you got, people making these kind of revenues.
Right.
But the other side, like, man, what in the world just, happened there? And everything, they don't know. Like I said, nothing, intentional, nothing malice. And, it's just, they're not versed with how to be CEOs. So people get that title, I'm the CEO, because, they pay, for the LLC.
Right.
But they don't actually understand what
it takes to run the business.
Or what a CEO is.
Well, yeah.
What a CFO is, what an executive is. It's not executive and an owner. It's two whole different things.
Right.
That's the thing of it is. I told you about the young lady who was on Shark Tank. She had she was selling like the knee-high socks, and Mark Cuban just messed up. She was like, yeah, she was trying to get some money from the Sharks, and she didn't know her numbers, and she was just bringing out. She's like, well, I'm the CEO, and Mark Cuban told her, he said, you're not the CEO, you're just a business owner. Mm-hmm. And that shit just went right over her head.
She didn't understand.
Because when we talk about CEOs, forecasting, financing, all the projections. CEOs work on the business, they don't work in the business. They actually are looking 2 or 3 years ahead, how to acquire this, how to do that, strategizing. Whereas the owner, he's just working, making money and stuff like that. That's not a knock, but it's just an understanding exactly what you are and what you are not.
Right.
And a lot of times we start looking at just even when we talk about just the banking, you don't have proper account. People don't, me being an accountant, I always tell folks, people come to me when they need me. Mm-hmm. People just, because you can get QuickBooks,
right?
Because you can buy TurboTax, you try to do it yourself.
But when you on the business,
yeah. But even when they
get it done right.
But even when they try to be in business or they personally, they do it and they're like, yeah, what the IRS said.
Well, you listen to the enemy right
and the
there.
bank just told me I ain't had this, that, and that. I get these calls every day.
Every day.
Every day. Now again, I'm cheaper. A lot cheaper, and I ain't cheap at all, but I'm cheaper.
Right.
When everything is good.
But when
it's
bad.
You ever heard of a bank called One United?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. That's one just started about 4 or 5. Wasn't that about? That was it. That's not it.
Not One United didn't start 4 or 5 years ago.
How long? 10 years ago?
One United started. One United started in 1982.
Damn, what is the one the brother
One
owned in
United
Atlanta?
had assets of $684 million.
$684 million.
Mm-hmm.
Are they based in Atlanta?
Boston.
Boston. What is the one the brother owned here in Atlanta? He just opened up a couple years ago. Let's Kill 'Em Out was pushing that one. I know it was black and gold and everything, man. I forgot the brother was pushing that. I'm just keep it real with you. One United is the Citizen Trust and everything. You just said the number. You got $680 million in assets that they have and stuff, which is not a lot. And again, hell, that might be from Bucker, maybe from 2 or 3 people. And they just can't run at the capacity. They can't run at the capacity that it chases and all that kind of stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And unfortunately, I don't necessarily know if they have a growth strategy for doing that. They may be content with just being the neighborhood bank and this is what we're going to do and everything, and that's it. Mm-hmm. How far? I mean, sometimes it might not be about growth. It might just be about being there.
Being there, yeah.
And everything. Unfortunately, it's not realistic to think that's going to be any kind of thing that's going to be sustainable. So, but, that's what happens, unfortunately, with a lot of our banks. I think a lot of times you have people that, I met a brother, Reverend R.L. Smith.
And see, One United Bank is I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's led by a husband and wife.
By husband and wife?
Yeah, the chairman is Kevin Cohen and the president is Terry Cohen.
Well, I think I heard of him.
Cohee. Yeah.
Cohen. I wonder if that the one that was no, I never heard of him before. And everything. I'm just talking about the couple and everything, but that doesn't mean that I ain't heard of him. But it's a brother, Reverend R.L. Smith. I met him. One of my clients, that we dealt with. I'm just mentioning by name because he wrote a book. God, I'm gonna bring it up in the next show. But he was actually a bank president, one of the first black presidents in the 70s, and he was able to grow a couple of banks, the historic levels and everything. And he actually sent me his autographed book about 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And we just talked about the different banking concepts. God, I'm sorry, Reverend Smith. I can't remember the bank name and everything. But he was but we had a real good conversation in regards to just black banking and everything. How a lot of times just a lot of it is human created. Mm-hmm. Of course, you have some of the banks that actually the bigger banks see markets and they change certain things to get people to come in. But at the end of the day, don't trip because the other bigger bank set the trap.
Right.
You still got a decision to make.
Exactly.
You know, I hear that a lot when I hear, you hear like, the music industry started this and that, and they changed certain things, and they made it where people want to come in. They want to sell gangster music. People bought. You still had to make a decision. People had to make a decision to buy. Artists had a decision to make the music or not. Mm-hmm. Right. So at the end of the day, if you're going to support your local black bank, you're going to support your local black bank.
Right.
Now you go into the situation knowing I know, again, some of the prominent black banks in Atlanta, they can't do all the stuff I want to do.
Right.
I can still go get a saving account from them.
Right.
They can't. They just, from a processing standpoint.
From a business standpoint, you need to move your business forward.
Yeah.
I'm going kind of, like I said, back and forth. We're having a good discussion. Me and Alex Campbell. That's Alex. And he wants us to know about his bank that's in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
That gives out small scale and large scale loans, house, collateral, no collateral needed, personal loans, student loans, consumer loans, and all this other stuff. And get this right here, and everything is transparent. My question to him was, okay, that's in Texas, we live in Atlanta. What about the Atlanta people and them getting a loan? And he was like, well, yeah, go to the website. They pretty much give that loan. I'm like, Alex, it can't be like that. And I know you say he's CEO, but I don't believe that it goes like that.
Well, I can tell you it goes like that for the simple fact I don't know that particular bank, but I can tell you right now the bank that I got my SBA loan is based in Florida, and I had another one in Wisconsin that I used and everything. Like I said again, the world is what? Flat.
Right.
We live in we live in a virtual world, and that's why I said I want people to be understanding that. Listen, you want to have, people laugh at me, Capucci, always preaching about having all these accounts and stuff like that. But you got to be flexible. The world is flat. Mm-hmm. And that's what, that's really, to be totally honest with you, hindering, I think, a lot of the black-owned banks. Mm. When I went to the Black National Conference in Chicago back in 2016, what's it, Seacrest? Seaside? I'm sorry, Lab.
I'm sorry.
But
we gonna be right on this show.
Yeah, that's it's like the historical black.
What's it called?
The one in Chicago, Seacrest, Seaside. God, but it was back in 2016.
Was it a college or?
No, the bank, the black-owned bank.
Okay.
In Chicago.
Hold on.
The brother, he came in, he was just like, hey, he was talking to her. He knew he had all these guests from all around the country. And he was like, look, we can do everything. Everything's virtual. It's remote. It doesn't matter. And I think if people actually look at that kind of stuff, like, you can get your money. Seaway, there you go. Seaway. Because that's one of the oldest banks in the whole country.
Seaway Bank and Trust.
There you go. And actually, Vice President for Seaway was actually speaking to us and everything, just talking about the different programs and everything. Mm-hmm. To the point Alex said, I can believe what he's saying. The flip side still comes up to it. I'm pretty sure they still have some basic parameters. I mean, and everything, because he can't stay open if, he's not going to give a loan to somebody that never paid anybody back. I mean, that's just, we're just going to be real about that. But I will say this, the world is flat. And if you have that kind of perspective with it, you'll be fine. Even when you talk about from a community standpoint, if you're a local bank here in Atlanta, like I said again, I just think my strategy would be a little bit different. I wouldn't be just...
And Seaway is not one of the oldest banks. Citizens Trucks is older. Seaway that started in 1965.
No. I mean one of the oldest banks around. I mean for black-owned banks. That's what I meant. I don't even know if it's the oldest or I know.
Okay.
And
1965 was okay, but I've seen some banks on this list that started in 1913.
1913. Man, they probably got about $100 in them. Man.
Well, what they did was they merged with other banks.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. But I remember he spoke to us. But I think if people think outside the box, I think they wouldn't be as limited to what they think they can do as far as receiving capital. So I believe what Alex is saying, and everything with doing it, because again, majority of the bigger loans that I've acquired, well, pretty much most of the bigger loans that I've acquired, you start talking about loans over $100,000 here, they ain't been nothing local, and be totally honest with you. So I think you got to look at that perspective, and I think that's not that uncommon with business. Being able to secure funding, those out-of-state banks, especially in the virtual world,
right?
You have to think that way. Now, from a community standpoint, we're looking at, okay, how we're going to increase, just say a bank in Atlanta or something for the community. I think I would be less asking people to bring money and deposit my account, and I probably have a rush on free services to kind of incorporate people to actually, come and learn these financial literacy camps and stuff like that.
Right.
Is that a gamble to offer that for free and hope they're going to join your bank? Yeah. It's just a damn gamble, too, to start your business up and ask people to enroll.
Right.
And once they find out they can't get a loan from you.
They unenroll.
Exactly. So, I think people need to really, really just take some time to just learn.
Yeah, they need to offer services like how to do your taxes, how to, financial literacy, stuff like that. And you guys, Killer Mike, if you listen, I know you listen sometime. You get Poochie to come over and teach the classes for you. Small fee, of course, but
well, they got, I'm pretty sure they got big teams of people just a lot more smarter than me and with doing it. And
that be the problem. Too much big teams.
Now I ain't admitting defeat. Now I'm just
too many Indians, too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
I think again with those situations, I think people they got people that have good intentions. I just think I'd have went with it about it a different way, and everything we're doing it because. First, again, this is Why Do We Need Black on Bank? This is the Dollar Hour, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Also, the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got over 100 videos on both platforms where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. Now, with that said, I think it all goes back to a couple things. Okay, when we start talking about the black-owned banks, and like I said, they're learning how to bank, is learning how to start investing in yourself to learn about as much financial literacy as possible. Invest in yourself. Invest in reading, your times, whatever. Invest in yourself with doing it, okay? Anything you can have as far as growing yourself from a wealth perspective, from a financial knowledge perspective, try to invest in yourself as much as possible. Know what options you have as far as funding. Don't just limit yourself. If the girl at the bar tell you she don't want to talk to you, you don't just sit in. If you're a true stud, you don't just sit there and cry in your bill. What you do? You go down to the next one. And if she don't really answer right, you might talk to her friend.
Right.
My point being, you just don't. Because that's what we're looking at you first.
I wasn't talking to you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was just warming up with you. But, to that point, just don't limit yourself to just, one option if it doesn't work. Know the different options you got. Family, friends. You can go to banks. You can have credit cards, those non-traditional things we start, talking about. Like what Alex even mentioned, just virtual banks that happen. I'm pretty sure you probably got a brick and mortar, but again, you have tons of options out there. Like I said, the whole thing with the crowdfunding, the Kickstarter, Indiegogos, Cabbage, all those non-traditional ways, there's funding out there. You may not get it the way you wanted to get it.
Right.
But again, a lot of times, let's be realistic. If your stuff put together, you ain't got to really do all that kind of stuff.
True.
But at the end of the day, if you got to make payroll, if you have to acquire this, you just got this, $2 million contract, but you ain't got, but $10,000 in the bank, but you need to get $500,000 in equipment to make it happen, what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do? You got to go get the money. And nobody's going to give you $500,000 in equipment on a regular loan if they see that you don't have a track record, you don't have the collateral, they're not going to do it. You're going to have to probably, get some kind of accounts receivable loan or something like that. You can get the money. It just may not be, again, the way you want it.
Right.
And you just got to be realistic about that stuff and everything. So be realistic about your situation. Set a realistic timetable about how you're going to try to get everything in motion too. Again, because when we're talking about, why do we need black-owned banks, I think, like I said, I think it's needed. I think we do need to have certain things because every race has that. I want to say, whites, if we had a white-owned bank and stuff like that, well, you do have it. It's called Citizen Trust, Bank of America, and all that. Let's keep it real. But you need, again, we start talking about straight community, Asian-owned, Hispanic-owned, Italian-owned, Jewish. They have that. Again, I know I'm talking about probably, not necessarily races, but ethnicities or religions, but you still have those things there, and there's nothing wrong with that, But I think again, regardless when you're talking about functioning and having those kind of mechanisms in place, making sure that the people that you marketing to, they're gonna be able to help sustain you, and I just think that's the bigger problem. We just don't know how to bank, and when we figure out what it takes for us to learn how to bank, we don't want to do all that. We don't want to do all that.
Right.
And again, who that fall back on?
Us.
You got to be realistic about that. Just I don't want to sit there and do that, and I gotta, I can't wait for that. I got to do that. So I kind of want to just end the show in just with this quick tidbit, guys. We don't need to be breaking our necks and fighting hard for something like having a black-owned bank if we're not gonna do right to keep it around.
Right.
That's the key. If we're gonna say it have that energy, we need to have it and everything. We need to make sure when we have it, we're gonna keep it around because that's the biggest problem with it. It's not that the white man taking it. It's not that we can't get access to this, that, and that. I just think we haven't done a good job of keeping it around. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing that's going to be most important for us to keep those things around is that we have to be, competent enough to keep it, function with it, keep it and everything like that. But with that said, too, don't limit yourself. You got a guy like Alex sitting there telling you going to give you some money and everything like that. Hell, do business with him. Huh? Well, you call his bluff if he said that.
Right.
Talk to him. You ain't got to limit yourself. That doesn't stop you from getting the other banks.
Right.
Again, access to capital when you don't need it. Hell, you can have all that stuff out there. Use it.
I want to end it on, we were talking like there aren't any black-owned banks, and I have 10 of them listed right here. But I'm not going to give you all 10 of them.
Okay.
I give you 5 of them.
5.
The first one is Liberty Bank and Trust, based in New Orleans. It serves cities like Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Kansas, and Texas. Established in 1972, assets of $737 million.
Okay,
that's number 1. Number 2 is One United Bank. We just talked about them. Based in Boston, has 6 branches in Miami, Los Angeles, with an upcoming location in Compton. Established in 1982. Assets of $684 million.
Okay.
Carver Federal Savings Bank, based in New York. Carver has 7 branches in its home state. Established in 1948. Carver has assets of $678 million. $670 million. Industrial Bank, I've never heard of them. Industrial Bank, based in Washington. Industrial Bank has 10 branches in Maryland, New Jersey, New York. Originally established in 1913, but was reorganized in 1935 by Jesse Mitchell. It has assets totaling $600 million. Number 5 is Citizens Trust. Citizens Trust is number 5 on the list. Based in Atlanta. Citizens Trust has 7 branches in Georgia and Alabama, established in 1921. Citizens Trust has assets of $506 million. So it's not like there's not any black-owned banks. We're talking like there aren't any, and I see 10 on this list right now, and most of them have assets of over $200 million. So, I mean, that's not a lot, but still, they banking.
The key is, again, when we start talking about it, the concept of that, and I appreciate that, Lab. You're aware of what you have right now. Mm-hmm. Again, some of them been around. You see, shit, this over 100 years.
There's one on here that's older, and I'm going to give you his name, but it's number 9 on this. It's a little lower. It's called Mechanics and Farmers Bank.
Okay, where's that based out of?
Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina.
Raleigh-Durham, okay, cool.
Established in 1907, has assets of $290 million. But you think about mechanics and farmers, so that was a bank basically for people who fixed, black folks who fixed on probably farmers' equipment, and then farmers.
Like a co-op bank or something like that.
Right.
Wow. And it's amazing because you sit here and think about it. I'm pretty sure maybe you go back 100 years ago, you probably had 5 times that. It's a God.
They say the first black bank was established in 1865.
1865.
Yeah.
What is the movie? What is it? Black Business, the documentary. I seen it about a month or 2 ago. I had to pay for it, where it gave a whole big spiel in regards to the whole black entrepreneur experience and stuff. God, was it Black Business? Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't think I had to pay for it because it was on demand. It wasn't. Cheap ass people like me. I remember every damn penny I spent. I spent $3 for that movie. But I'm sorry, but it was real insightful in regards to just that whole journey of black-owned businesses in regards to just the banking system and everything. But again, man, I appreciate that, Lab. We really got to make sure that when these type of things come, as far as the black-owned banks or the black businesses, make sure that we do a good job, as citizens, that we're taking care of them to make sure they stay around and everything.
Do right by them.
Exactly. And also, just as a challenge to the business owners that's doing that, invest in yourselves. Know how to actually operate and function your businesses. And I'm not talking about customer service. I'm talking about really knowing how to actually be, quote unquote, CEOs. Know how to do that. And just kind of going from this to that and just never, not being stagnant and everything. And I think that, if that's working on both ends, we'll see a whole lot more success out there, because I wish them brothers well with the bank and everything. I just think that conceptually, I don't think it's the issue of the bank, because like I say, it's not a new idea.
Right.
It's the issue of people still not knowing really what to do.
Right.
It's the idea of, hey, that's a black-owned bank. We can do this. We can join this. But I don't think that's going to be the overriding thing that's going to happen. I think people we don't have it because people ain't really took care to keep it. So I just want to make that personal challenge to everybody. Look, if to join the bank, I think it's a great idea to do it, but also kind of spend as much time as possible. Make that 2020 commitment to yourself to become as much financial literate as possible. And one of the best ways to do it is subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar.
That's right.
Again, just like we had a dollar hour every other Thursday, I got over 100 videos. I got some more courses coming down the pipe. The tax course should be out probably the beginning of November. That's for if you want to be having your $1 million tax preparation business. That's going to be the course. But I've been doing the webinars. Ready to start your own tax business, where I'm just sharing my story, what you need, and also what you need to be in the tax business, and also the potential money you can make. The course is for people that are already somewhat knowledgeable with doing taxes. It's not for a person that doesn't know anything about taxes. I'm not really teaching you how to fill out a tax form. I'm teaching you more so how to actually operate a tax business. So if you actually been that person in the family that do 4 or 5 people taxes every year or whatever, and you say, okay, I'm kind of cool with doing this, ready to take it to the next level, you need to enroll in my course so I can tell you how to make at least $100,000 in the first 4 or 5 months in business and stuff. I have the experience, I have the knowledge and everything. 20 years in the game with doing it and everything. So that whole course will run you through the whole part of the body, but it's not a course in regards to teach you how to fill out a 1040. Okay, it's not for that. It's to teach you, the person that has some knowledge. You don't have to be a guru, because like I say again, it's not about knowing everything about taxes. That's why when you go to lawyers' office, they got all those books. You go to doctor's office, they got all them books. What I try to push you to be an expert, not in taxes, be an expert in knowing how to get the information that you need to get. Okay, that's the most important part about that. So those are things that I push for you. So kind of be on the lookout for that. Make sure if you haven't, go by Mr. Short Dollar. You can Google it. As far as the Ready to Get Started tax preparation course, the links to it and everything, register. Make sure you join the email list. Join the email list so we keep you updated of all the courses, all the events, and all the new information we got coming out. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight where we asked, why do we need black-owned banks? Be back in a couple weeks. Listen, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate the support. The channel is growing like crazy. Thanks for all the support you gave to me, Mr. Short Dollar, also to Changing Lives. I want to just say thank you again from the bottom of my heart to you guys. Say again, thanks to DJ Lab and Slick 316 and everything. You guys helped me grow. All my family at Misfits Radio and everything. Good luck with you guys and stuff like that. If you need a little inspiration, just look at Pooch. Take care, you guys. See you in a couple weeks.